All right. Does that work?
Yay.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you. Here we go. So, a little background on myself. Grew up in California. My parents are small business owners. They work in the financial services sector, providing, investment advice for small businesses and pensions and things like that. Growing up, I learned about hard work by working hauling bricks and moving dirt on construction sites, home renovation, and working in restaurants, working in high-end pizza and other kinds of line cook experiences. So got started on the right foot, like I said, knowing what hard work is all about. After college, I founded a nonprofit organization that I ran and I raised funding for, and we had 4 or 5 staff and had to make payroll with my development efforts. So not quite the same thing as the businesses that obviously are in the private sector, but all the same have had to keep people on payroll and know what that's like to feel like, hey, you got to bring the money in, and people got families to feed. Although, of course, the folks who worked for me at that time were all quite young. I, in my political career, ran campaigns to stop the privatization of Social Security, to ensure that Social Security will be there for the future, to organize young voters, to work with seniors. And I'm a political organizer. It's what I believe in. I worked for Barack Obama. In 2007, I was the youth vote director for the Obama campaign, helping to propel his victories in the early primaries, which of course catapulted him to success in the election. I've got 2 boys, Henry and Travis, and my wife Angela. And here we are getting in our ugly Christmas sweaters, getting our Christmas tree this year. And of course, they're students in MCPS. And, we're grappling with all those issues as everyone else is. Just for a little context, my overall plan for economic growth, of course, is on my website at hansriemer.com. But a number of the key elements that I'll just run through very quickly. Housing, we've got to have more housing. We have a housing shortage. It really makes it difficult for the workforce to be here. And not having new housing means we're not getting new investment in our communities. We're not getting the benefit of new development and progress and change. So we've got to have stronger housing policies, and we've got to expand our transportation infrastructure. It was mentioned earlier, my work to try to bring a transit funding component to the American Legion Bridge expansion so that we can be better connected to Virginia. We have to be connected to that economy if we're going to thrive here in Montgomery County. We don't want to be locked out of all of that economic activity. I'm a huge believer in creating walkable urban areas all up and down the Purple Line and the Red Line corridors. And I think that's really a big future for us, is having vibrant urban areas served by public transportation, where restaurants and stores and retail and companies and startups and all kinds of business services want to be, having a great quality of life in a dynamic environment. That's the future I want for Montgomery County, and that's really a lot of what my campaign is about. I'm very focused on talent pipelines, and Azita, I'd love to know more about your business, because, I think that we need to boost our talent pipeline so that our companies can grow here, so that they can have the workforce that they need. And then B, we need to create the talent pipeline so that every kid in this county has access to those jobs, and so that people can accelerate their own careers, and so that we can live in a community that has opportunity for all. And that's what I think talent pipeline strategies can really do. The Purple Line corridor is something I've been really focused on, getting the University of Maryland better connected into Montgomery County with NOAA and NIH and Bethesda, and building a corridor all up and down, all along the Purple Line that has affordable housing, walkable, bikeable landscape where, people want to be, young workers will want to live, and we can really drive a lot of progress and change. I know our economy has slowed down in recent years. We have fewer private sector jobs today than we used to have even 10 years ago. And that's because of these bigger trends with Virginia. But I also think we have the ability to change that. And we've got NIH and NIST and FDA and NOAA. That's the Harvard, the MIT, the Stanford for Montgomery County. And we need to leverage those research organizations to create economic impact, startups, entrepreneurship. And finally, we've got to make small business our business. We have to make sure that when we have programs that small businesses are included and they're getting the benefit of county investment. And that's what I'm going to talk about for the rest of this presentation. A little bit of background, some of the existing resources that I know you're familiar with. If you go to the county's website today, it says small business is big business. It mentions that 95% of county businesses are smaller than 50 employees. Carmen mentioned the history of the business advancement team, which Councilmember Berliner and I created when we were creating MCEDC. We were concerned that MCEDC wouldn't be the right place for county small businesses to get access to county services, to get help with permitting or licensing. And so we created the business advancement team in order to be that solutions group for them. We have a navigator and a business liaison today, and there's been a lot of programs that we've been building, the MOVE grants, which provide a share of your first lease, COVID business rental assistance, the local production fund, which I created, that supported local businesses pivoting during the beginning of the pandemic to making masks or PPE, providing them with grants to do that. We, of course, did the COVID emergency business grants and reopening Montgomery grants. So there's been a lot of action at the council. But we're not doing nearly enough. Generally speaking, I think we don't have the kind of commitment to small business and the growth of small business that we need. And so that's one of the key issues for my campaign. So first of all, I would love to work with you to change the culture of Montgomery County government. And I tried to see how that's embodied by saying, it's not that small business is big business, it's that small business is our business. That every Montgomery County department has a role in supporting the community and helping our local businesses succeed. And we need our county teams, our county departments, to think about how to get to yes, to focus on solutions with our constituents, with the business community, to help them succeed. And not saying no, not finding excuses, but again, treating businesses like valued customers, and then supporting them with valuable advice and solutions. So that is a culture change that I would like to drive through the organization. And having information on the website is good, but it's not enough. We need to make county support for small businesses a countywide priority. It has to be integrated into all of our programs. And we need to drive a culture change throughout our departments, and we need to reorganize and strengthen our small business office. I would love to see, and I will create a team that reports directly to the county executive to support small business, not having that team sort of buried in different layers, but actually have them with a seat at the table, a cabinet level seat in the county's operational, functionality. So again, expanding the scope and the number of employees who work for small business support teams, and again, bringing more value and more support. Focusing on improving our communications and doing everything we can to be competent in different languages, and helping business owners who come from all different kinds of backgrounds, and ensuring that our departments are communicating effectively. I believe we've got to be data driven. We have to create information and share it tailored to different business needs in their life cycle. and they're distinct. You've got businesses that have different needs if they're pre-venture or startup or in the growth stage or at the maturity stage. And, we have different kinds of businesses that serve those businesses, and we need to know what those are, and we need to be able to respond appropriately and provide support for their needs. So in order to do that, we've got to focus on helping with capital and helping with contracts and helping with coaching and consulting. So some of the ways that I would love to bring that to reality. First, I want to create an MFD entrepreneurship incubator in the Silver Spring Center. We have a great space in Silver Spring. It's underutilized. And, it's time for us to invest in programs that are targeted towards the needs of entrepreneurs from MFD backgrounds. It's not enough to just have life sciences or technology. We've really got to help everyone to start a business. And I think we can help achieve that with more management and technical and procurement assistance. So, for example, I'm a huge fan of LEDC. I think they do terrific work. I've also worked a lot with, over the years, the SBDC, where actually Renee comes from, the Small Business Development Center. And I'd like to expand the funding that we provide for coaching and consulting to create a bilingual Hispanic business center through SBDC here, to provide training through an accelerator here. And then also procurement. I think a lot of businesses need help with procurement. That's technical. It's at the federal, state, and the county level. And we should provide more support for assistance programs in the, to consult with small businesses in the procurement process to help them compete, because, it doesn't do any good if a business doesn't know how to get into the competition pool for procurement. So I'd like to do that. We're working on creating a new financial institution, a CDFI, to provide additional financing for local startup businesses. We are working to create databases of minority-owned businesses in order to be able to better communicate about opportunities with them. We're working on funding initiatives through what's called Main Street programs for locations, communities like Wheaton, which is the iconic headquarters of so many Hispanic businesses in Montgomery County, Long Branch, Germantown, Silver Spring. Next, I want to focus on procurement and work with our partners at the public schools and the college, HOC, Parks and Planning, to expand their use of our procurement procedures so that basically local businesses have a better chance to get access to their contracts. They don't do enough on supporting local business with their procurement, and they spend a lot of money. The school system is half the county budget. We need to do a better job working with those larger organizations so that local business is part of their procurement mission. And I'd like to achieve that. So that concludes my brief presentation.